about doing the Mass Number 1 by Anton Bruckner. Now he's a late Romantic German composer that you may know of as having written some great massive symphonies for huge orchestra, expansive in nature. Choral musicians know him mainly for his wonderful motets, his setting of Ave Maria, Locus Iste, Christus Factus Est, which choral singers love to sing. Now his masses are less well known. I performed his first Mass over 10 years ago. I performed his second Mass with the Choral Society for our 35th anniversary season. Or was it our 30th? I think it might have been our 30th, so it was even that long ago. And I was planning on doing the third Mass until I looked at it again, listened to it again, and I kept going back to the first. I thought there was something special there, something deeply moving about this Mass that is so rarely performed, that combines both the personal and the transcendent. Now for Bruckner, it came at a very pivotal point in his life because it comes in between all that great choral music that he wrote for unaccompanied choir. He was a choir conductor himself and a church organist, led a fairly simple life, and it comes before the massive symphonies. This is at around age 40 that he's writing this Mass. He had written 8 Masses before, but this is the first one that he decided he felt good enough about to call Mass Number 1, and he started his opus numbers at that point. He had been taking counterpoint lessons mainly by correspondence, by mail, with an esteemed teacher in Vienna. He was in a provincial city outside of Vienna, and he was very exacting about that. In fact, his friends would say he's obsessive about getting his counterpoint exercises right and doing everything the right way. Then he started taking orchestration lessons for the first time as well. He'd written very little for instruments up until now, and his orchestration teacher decided that what he really needed to do was to go hear a Wagner opera. So his teacher took Bruckner at age 40, a musician all his life, to hear a Wagner opera for the first time. And he heard Tannhäuser. And when he heard this, he heard that the most famous composer of the time was breaking all the rules of counterpoint and harmony that he had been so studiously trying to master. This gave him something of a new lease on life. Suddenly he realized that he didn't need to follow those rules quite so religiously. And so he writes this Mass, and it comes out different than anything he had written before. Writing for brass with incredible brilliance, writing for strings with both a virtuosity and a layering upon layer of beautiful writing, writing for the winds in a lyrical way that very similar to the way he wrote for voices. And as you'll hear in this rehearsal excerpt from the opening phrases of the Kyrie, he was able to write in a way that used simple melodies to convey deep ideas. He sets the Kyrie eleison, Lord have mercy, to a very simple 3-note melody. Kyrie eleison, and builds it off of that first Kyrie, those 3 notes expressing very simply the plea for mercy. He builds upon layer into this moving movement for choir and orchestra.